Hello everyone, thank you for joining me for another Swell Enterprise tutorial. We're going to dig into creating recurring invoices today. So to get started, go ahead and click on the three dots in the upper navigation here, unless you've already shortlisted that to your sidebar, and you can navigate to it from there. But let's click on the Sales tab, and under the Invoices column, you should see View Recurring Invoices and New Recurring Invoice. So for right now, let's go ahead and dig into creating a new recurring invoice, because in my opinion, recurring invoices and predictable revenue is the lifeblood of any sustainable business model. We tried to put a lot of special attention to this specific module. So to get started, you just go ahead and you choose a client, and you can give it a purchase order if you'd like. So I'll just say SEO. And now repeat will ask you how many times you would like this invoice to repeat. So you can leave it set to 0 if it needs to repeat infinitely, or you can set it to something like 6 or 10, however many. So the next step would be to choose a start date, when this recurring invoice starts, and then finally, what is the schedule? So let's go through an example real quick. Let's say I need to create a recurring invoice that happens every month. I want it to repeat indefinitely. Otherwise, if I only needed this to repeat for 12 months, I'd say 12 here. So I say recurring invoice, send it monthly. It's going to start on the 11th of December, and it will trigger on the 11th of every month. And then down below, I can start adding the line items to my invoice. So I'll go in and I'll add a few line items here. And then down below, you can leave a special note to your client if you choose to. But if you click on Auto Bill, now I'm assuming here you've already set up your payment gateway in Swell Enterprise. If you haven't, please pause the video and take a second to do that. You can do it from the company settings panel right here. You would just go and you connect to Stripe or Authorize.net or any other payment providers that we offer. So if you've already connected your payment provider, go ahead and click on Auto Bill. And what this is going to ask you is, would you like to bill their credit or debit card or ACH Bake Transfer? Now this is assuming you have their information available or you can easily collect it. But let's say I want to bill their credit card. I could come down below here and I'd start filling out their information along with their card number and their name. And then you can choose to save card. So for example, if I wanted this recurring invoice to auto bill this client every month and I had their credit card, I'd have card selected here, set it to auto bill, fill in all the information, and then I would click on Save Card. Once I do that and click Save, because today is December 11th, it will automatically trigger the first recurring invoice, and then it will repeat every month for me. Now if you chose for some reason you chose the ACH Bake Transfer, you would just plug in their routing and accounting number here, an account holder name, and you select what type of business type it is and whether you'd like to save that information. Now when you do the ACH Bake Transfer, depending on the payment processor that you choose, you may have a verification process where your payment processor will deposit a small amount into their bank account and they have to confirm that amount with you. Now, the reason why you may want to go with an ACH Bake Transfer instead of a card is because the ACH Bank Transfer fees are significantly lower, especially if you're billing high volume amounts. They only take, and granted this varies, but at the date of this video, they only take about up to $5 max out for collecting the bank transfers. So again, once you're done, you just hit save, and that'll automatically kick off the recurring invoice for you. So once you're done, you can go ahead and back up to the recurring invoices page, and you can see a list of all of your recurring invoices you've got set up. And to show you what that looks like, we'll jump over to Invoices, and you'll see from the Invoices section all of the recurring invoices that have gone through. So you'll see if it's a recurring invoice, it'll show up here as a yes or no. And then you can click on an individual invoice to get the invoice history, when it was triggered and when payment was collected, just by clicking on History and then payments, and of course what payment methods they have saved on file. All right, this concludes this tutorial. If you have any questions, feel free to reach us at the bottom right-hand corner of the chat window. We'd love to assist you, and thank you so much for watching.